Hey guys, Bill Ladd, Duckett Ladd, CPAs and advisors. Hope everybody's hanging in there and having a good week so far. Yesterday, on April 6th, we got some more guidance, some frequently asked questions that I think have started to really clarify this PPP program and what it really looks like. So I want to take a minute and I'm going to share with you kind of our understanding of these. And again, today's April 7th, so these came out yesterday. And they did answer some really good questions. So bear with me. I'm going to kind of scroll through here. A lot of this stuff is for the lenders, kind of giving them more cover that they can rely on us as borrowers to certify. It might not hurt for you guys to take a peek at this just to make sure you understand. But okay, let's start with this one. If you guys remember, there was a $100,000 annual salary cap on this stuff. And there was a lot of concern or question about whether that was everything, in other words, just the salary, the 100,000, or did that include their benefits, health insurance, all those other items we could include? And this one clearly comes out and said the exclusion of compensation excess of 100,000 annually applies only to cash compensation, not non-cash benefits, including employer contributions to defined benefit plans. A lot of you guys probably make those, so you'll want to make sure you include that in your calculation. Defined contribution, retirement plans, employee benefits, including health insurance, and then these state and local taxes. So that's a pretty important provision that will help you not only in the calculation, but I think also potentially on the forgiveness side as well, if you're making retirement benefits for your people and yourself. So I think that was a really nice clarification there. Here's another one. I've actually been asked this specific question. Is do PPP loans cover sick leave? And the question I actually got was, does it cover vacation? And now basically they're saying you can use that to cover payroll costs, including costs for employee, vacation, parental, family, medical, and sick leave. Obviously, if you're getting a credit under this stuff, under other provisions of the CARE Act, you can't. But again, this is a nice provision that does allow you to use the PPP for not just salary, but also to pay people for their sick leave and their vacation time. So that's an interesting time while we're down. Another one we had that there really wasn't a good clarity on is a lot of people use professional employer organization. Think of ADP or somebody like that who processes your payroll. And sometimes they actually file under kind of their own tax ID number. And basically what they're saying here is if you can clearly identify which salary is tied into your business and get the reports from your PEO accordingly, then you can use that as support for your PPP loan documentation. So again, if you're with some of those bigger outfits, you might want to make sure they're giving you the correct reports. Here's another one that's not huge, but this is something that I've seen some lenders require all majority owners to sign over 20%, but now it's looking like one individual who is authorized to sign on behalf of the borrower can do so. So I don't think you have to have multiple applications floating around. So again, they're going to want to make sure it is somebody who's authorized to transact business for that particular practice or business, but it does look like only one person who is authorized to do so can sign that document. There was a clarification, if you guys remember, there was a lot of uncertainty as to what time period to use to calculate this thing. And they've now come out and clarified that you can either use calendar year 2019, which many of us did, or you can use the previous 12 months, which some people did. So we were kind of hearing both sides. The forms tended, seem like they were indicating 2019, but then some wording out in the interim guidance indicated the previous 12 months. They're basically saying you can use either one. And then they kind of go through some more of the seasonal or new businesses there as well. And it walks through how to calculate their number. If you remember, there's an employee number there. So number 15, obviously we now had clarity after the interim ruling that independent contractors do not count. And this backs that up again and says do not include those wages on there. They will be eligible to claim for themselves. One point of note is I still do not see anything that talks about guaranteed payments or any other payments to partners. I don't think that's been addressed yet, so that's something we'll want to keep an eye on. 16 is huge. This is a big one. This is the one that was really confusing to us, and the way it was worded is, what do you do with federal taxes? I think this is one of the most important clarifications here, is basically when they did this, what they intended was for payroll costs to be gross payroll costs. And they give a great example here. You know, if you earned $4,000 per month in gross wages and you withheld $500, you would count the entire $4,000, the gross wages, in there. This is how we were doing our calculations for our clients. We thought it was right. There was some really confusing wording in there that basically says employee payroll costs, you don't exclude those. You gross it up, and then you'll want to make sure that you don't include employer portion of any of that stuff that will be paid outside of payroll. I think we were seeing some payroll providers that were actually giving the numbers that were net. So you might want to look at that to see if you did that calculation correctly, but it should be gross. And here's kind of to tag on to that. If you did file a loan application based upon previous PPP guidance, do I need to take action? And basically what it's saying here is that the borrowers and lenders can use the guidance in place at the time. However, if you previously submitted a loan application has not been processed and a revision will give you a bigger benefit, then you'll want to reach out to your lender and make sure that they actually do use that new amount and that it is giving you the biggest benefit you're entitled to. So that's a really important point there, guys, that to run the tape, talk to your accountant, talk to your lender if you need to, make sure that you use the right calculation based upon the guidance that we now have, and then see if there's any changes that need to be made. If so, contact your bank and see if you can't get your application revised. If it's already processed, there may not be any remedy. I'm not seeing anything yet, but again, maybe there'll be clarification. Want to jump on here again, guys, real quick. I know we're all sick of talking about the PPP. We want some clarity. I think this document did give us quite a bit more clarity. Hope everybody's doing well. Anytime you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. In the meantime, have a great day. Take care.